Welcome back to another video. Yeah, man, it's about Andrae AP Podcast. And in today's video, we're gonna look at why Chinese Gen Z are refusing work. And I think a lot of it's not just in China, but all over the world. Not just in China, over here on the western side of the world, Feel like this, but I think China is more on a more advanced level than us here over on the western side of this world. But let's dive into this video, see what it's talking about. And you guys can let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section. Alrighty, so let's see.
China's youth are staging one of the largest protests in the country's history, and they're doing it from their bedrooms. No working, no marriage, no kids. Just doing the bare minimum to survive. It's a massive silent rebellion against a broken system, and the Chinese government is absolutely terrified. Chinese experts estimate that excluding students, the youth unemployment rate could be as high as 46.5%. That's nearly half of China's youth refusing to or unable to get a job. This is a trend where people are simply choosing to stay home and live stress-free. So why is China's government deeply terrified by this move?
Well, how can they live stress-free? A lot of these countries, them pay if actually living in them country, and them pay if actually be a citizen. So I don't know if that's the way how they're surviving. But over here on this side of the world, if you not work, call it, or if you not have a business or some way of surviving, you get knocked. You can't just sit on your yard feel say you play PUBG every day. That not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You can't say you sit on your yard you play PUBG, or you see like in the clip the guy was playing like a Nintendo Switch. How persons in Jamaica survive without a job and them not have a 9 to 5? It's crazy.
And desperately trying to censor it. Because this movement has a very clear intention to force China's government to finally fix their broken system. The movement started in 2021 under the name of Tangping, which means laying flat. The movement started with a man named Luo Huazhong who made posts documenting his lifestyle. He was unemployed, ate 2 meals a day, and only worked a few days a year when he needed the money. And this post struck a chord with millions, with many others sharing their minimalistic lifestyles online. Tangping was a movement that advocated for having low desire, low ambition, and rejecting consumerist mindsets. It didn't necessarily advocate for being unemployed, but rather a mindset of prioritizing one's own mental health over their boss or job or societal expectations. People who follow this ideology refuse to work overtime and will put off work from their bosses or ask to do it later. The Tangping movement started as a rejection of being a corporate slave, but as the movement grew, people started taking this ideology even further by completely refusing to get a job. This led to the rise of the ideology of Bailan, which is a more extreme version of Tangping. The term came from basketball slang, meaning we've already lost, so might as well just stop trying. Bailan's ideology is a rejection of many things. Don't buy a house or apartment, don't get married or have children, don't pursue a career, and spend the bare minimum to survive. Because why put effort into these things if they're impossible or involve trading away your freedom or mental health? An example of this is how 70,000 graduates in China with master degrees have become food delivery drivers. You know, like DoorDash, but in China. Imagine grinding day and night, going through 18 years of China's brutal school system, just to say
But I don't understand. I don't know if this video is true, because what I heard of how China's operate, it was hearsay. I don't know if it's 100% true, but I heard that in China, if you're doing an exam and one person doesn't pass the exam, the class would wait for that person, like I would say, not really necessarily wait, but actually like wait for that team, that classmate to catch up on their level or before they move on. And it's very helping if you look at it from that perspective. So I always wanted to say I want to go to China where it's all a team building type of thing. I don't know, but you're saying something else in this video. So because you're not from that country, a lot of misleading information may be out there, and which one to follow, you have to be there for yourself. Because There's so many misleading information.
This at the last minute because you'd rather deliver pizza on your bike. Many are refusing to get a job and instead becoming full-time children by staying home to cook and clean for their parents, to live with them and earn a salary from them. Many are even being called rat people. People who stay in their bedrooms, waking up late in the day, rotting in their bed, doom scrolling for hours, and rarely going outside. Now, bailan doesn't mean quitting working entirely, but rather working only when necessary. This involves low-maintenance jobs like being an online tutor, streamer, content creator, driver, trash collector, etc. And it involves working these jobs for very low hours to make just enough money to survive. Under this lifestyle, some can still afford their basic necessities, but others cannot. Which takes us to the most extreme levels of tongping, because millions of Chinese people are literally choosing to become homeless, as they see it as a better fate than becoming a corporate slave. This involves sleeping in internet cafes, restaurants, tents, train stations, or even directly on the street. Now there's a...
Is this video for real? That's what happening in China right now? Persons are sleeping outside, being homeless just because they don't want to work in corporate? What? I'm not. Well, let's see. I'm not.
A lot more about bailan that needs to be said, but first I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, CyberGhost. You might think that's and reroute your traffic with over beyond like Netflix and sharing. Extra months. Back to the video. Recent government data reveals that there's 47.5 million homeless people in China, with 61% being under 33 years old. If you don't understand just how insane that is, that's equivalent to the entire population of South Korea. And these aren't the addicted, crackhead homeless people we have in the US. These are sane, logical people who...
You know, I'm just like, for I think like a month ago, I hear somebody say they never see I don't know. Let me know if you guys ever see someone that a drug addict Chinese man or a mentally insane Chinese man. I never see one before. None of the two. I never see any of them before. You may see a black mentally ill man or a black drugged or cracked out man with bone coke. You may see that. You may see a white man. You may see a Indian, but we never see a mad Chinese man or a mentally ill Chinese man or a Chinese man that crack out or drugged out. I never see that before. But back to the video.
who did the math and realized that being homeless is better than working and paying rent.
虽然不对，但是它舒适啊。那你赚钱
Bro, not working and don't want to pay rent just because you want to be homeless, that in itself is just laziness. Like, it is lazy for it. I understand like the work, like the world right now is just like, it does have to a push right now at this point. Like everything just, bro, everything just crumbling upon and like bills. There's so much, bro. Literally. But if you say you're not gonna work for corporate and going homeless, it's, it don't make sense. Which one I struggle if you want to? You want to the struggle of becoming a homeless person, or you want to be the struggle of actually have a job? Bro, that's a tough choice to make. But it's not an ambition if you be homeless. Jamaicans full of too much pride. Let them not take up that strike on their head. Say they rather be homeless than work. Because there's no way you're gonna eat food. You can't go eat 24 hours. You're really hungry, bro. And like, yo, it will get harder and harder. I know the place now war, and poor people them feel it. People them wanna have this have them regular 9 to 5, and them we are gonna feel it. So we work hard for try, you know, maybe YouTube thing take off on our way and business and so forth. Because work for corporate, like somebody I held a shout after you on like the bucket master type of job, working environment, the toxic environment. It's not for everybody. Not everybody want to get up every day and go work. Yeah, I understand that, but like you have to get up every day and just close your eyes and just do what you have to do and find a way out. Like find a way to get a better job, a better skill, and just step out with confidence, bro. Because if you go homeless, bro, you have to sleep out and do every rat can't crawl on your road. Like choose your struggles, man. Choose it wisely.
那不就是为了过得舒适吗？我发现躺着就挺舒适，那我为啥还要再去赚钱呢？
Now, on a surface level, these people might seem lazy or guilty of having a loser's mentality, giving up whenever things get hard. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The people who subscribe to the Tongping ideology are actually very hardworking people, or at least they used to be.
I bet you didn't know this. In North Gaza, after the conflict, some families are so hungry.
These are people who tried to make it in the system, who tried to create a good life for themselves by studying hard and going to college and finding a job. But the more they tried, the more they began to realize working harder does not mean attaining more happiness. Every year, the number of college graduates increases in China, but the quantity of new jobs isn't increasing to match this pace. This creates a job market with fierce competition. And in a job market where millions of qualified applicants are competing for fewer positions, the competitive differentiator between applicants isn't about who has more skills or knowledge. It's about who's more willing to work extreme amounts of hours. This has led to a brutal work culture known as 996, rising in prominence in the last decade. Work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Some employees spend so much time at the office that they end up sleeping there, having their entire lives revolve around their job. 996 is very common in China, with almost all the top tech and internet companies running by it. Millions of young Chinese individuals enter this workforce with the idea that hard work will bring them wealth and status. But the sad reality is, because so many applicants are willing to work extremely hard work is no longer a praiseworthy quality deserving of a promotion, but rather the norm that's expected out of every single employee. This reality has...
Yo, that's why sometimes you have to be grateful, because when I look for my job, like the 95 the other day, I said, bro, I really gotta quit. But persons over here in China, it just look like it just make for be a rat race type of settings. Like it just make feel like it be like that. Why the system have to be like that? You know? I don't know about y'all, but it just seems weird to me, bro. Like to be consistent, yeah, that's number one. To be consistent in whatever you're doing. To be determined, hard working, yeah, that is a part of it. But sometimes you just can't even, sometimes you just can't even continue sometimes. Like, it's just so hard sometimes. Sometimes you just need a breakthrough, bro. Like, that's all it, like, looking at it now from that standpoint, I'm grateful for my job, nevertheless. I feel like, yo, we have one life to live. Just take the leap of faith, take a calculated risk, just do something that you love, do something that can provide for you, your family, and yourself, and something that is meaningful, where it is doing what it's supposed to do, right? That's life right there in a nutshell. And yeah, you just always got to continue to work. Just continue to work. Be consistent. Yeah, it's so sad though. It's so sad and depressing, like, to even talk about.
has posed an existential question to China's youth. If running faster doesn't get you anywhere, then why run at all? China's youth was supposed to reap the rewards of their hard work. Their hard work was supposed to create a better world for them. But instead, their hard work has only helped the wealthy in China grow even wealthier, while life is only getting worse for the rest of the population. In 1978, the bottom 50% of China's population earned 27% of China's national income. Today, they earn only 15% of China's national income. Why? Because the wealthy elite are taking more of this income for themselves. Housing prices are sky high, while salaries have remained low. More and more workers are being laid off because they simply aren't needed anymore. Many companies are even decreasing their wages because they have so many workers readily available to them. This is the nation that the youth's hard work has created, so why continue working hard if their hard work will only contribute more to this inequality? Now, if this was any other country, the youth would have done the obvious thing. Protest, rebel, speak out against this cruel system. In Western democracies, the youth can vote for the changes they want to see be done. Yeah. But not in China. There's no voting in China. Any attempt of criticizing the system will result in getting censored. Public protests rarely go anywhere because they always get silenced by law enforcement and often end in violence. Because of this, China's youth really only has one option, Tongping, to lie flat and refuse to cooperate with this corrupt system. It's a non-violent, quiet, hidden protest with a message that speaks louder than any banner, riot, or march. If you don't fix the system, we're not working. And this movement is only growing larger and larger every year, with more people joining the movement by lying flat, and more influencers and content creators bringing attention to this movement. So how is China's government reacting to this? Well, they're absolutely horrified. The CCP needs a motivated, productive workforce in order to reach their nation's goals, but the Tongping movement is preventing that vision from happening. As a result, China's government is doing whatever they can to stop the movement. The terms Tongping and Bailan, along with many other terms associated with the movement, have been completely erased from social media platforms. Any video that mentions these phrases is made invisible to the public. Many online discussion groups centered around these topics have also been shut down by China's government. But this attempt to hide the movement only made people angrier and didn't really stop anything, as people are still continuing to post about the movement by using euphemisms and alternative words to convey the same message. Many government-run news outlets are trying to stop the movement by shaming it. One news reporter said something along the lines of, "We understand that you're frustrated, but we don't care, so stop laying flat."
但吐槽归吐槽，苦恼归苦恼，认命可以，躺平却不行。
Articles are being published by the government condemning the movement by calling it shameful and harmful to China. One post by the Communist Youth League wrote, "China's youth has never chosen to lay flat." The government's reaction to this movement is very telling. It means that they know this movement is succeeding, and they're very afraid of what could happen if this continues. Not only is China's government shaming the Tongping movement, but Chinese boomers and Gen X are also speaking out against it, calling it a negative influence on people and society. They call the newer generations weak, lazy, and selfish, talking about how newer generations don't have the same drive, work ethic, and desire for improvement that older generations did. But what these people don't realize is that Gen Z is living in a completely different world than what the older generations experienced. Older generations experienced a world of blooming opportunities and the chance to succeed. They grew up in a world where hard work actually meant something. Their hard work allowed them to find a good job, climb the corporate ladder, gain promotions, and earn good wages. Marriage and buying a house and raising children was actually an option for them. Sadly, that is not the same world as today. The older generations and government can keep telling the youth to stop laying flats, but these are just empty phrases that don't mean anything. Telling China's youth to stop laying flat is like telling a homeless man to just go buy a house. Despite all their efforts, China's government will not be able to stop the Tongping movement. The only way to solve this problem is for them to fix their broken system. China's government is going to have to abolish 996 culture, not just pass laws against it, but to hold companies accountable for any form of unpaid overtime. They need to make life easier for the youth, like lowering apartment prices and increasing wages, so people actually have something to work towards instead of working their lives away without any purpose. This isn't some sort of outrageous goal, as there are hundreds of millions of apartments empty in China.
I honestly never knew that was taking place in China, honestly. I always think China was like a chill place and like, but if them censored everything and if them if you can't process, you will be penalized and stuff for it. That's why like it like that outrageous, and then like them not speak our language, so you can't understand what they're saying. But it's crazy though, like China go through that. Then if China go through that, can you imagine other places around the world? But without further ado, let me know guys, what are your thoughts in the comment section, alright? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe.